What is going on, Mad Spideyverse? Yes, it's another one of those boring ass streams going live. Need to do some bagging and boarding, so I thought, let's just do it live. Let's do it live, as CJ would have his little video thing going. If anybody is around, they want to jump on. I know it's very early in the morning or very late, whatever way you want to look at it, over in the US and Canada and things like that. Don't know what it's like over in the UK at the moment. I don't know what the time difference is, but yeah, if anybody wants to jump on, more than happy to, you know, let you come on as long as I know, as long as you show your face, unless it's CJ, obviously just the hands. I know what he looks like from the hands. But yeah, let's just get started into it. This is just going to be literally boring as shit. Unless obviously somebody joins me and keeps me entertained. But yeah, I need to do bagging and boarding and scanning because I've got people holding comics for me or comic shops holding stuff for me, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know whether I've bloody got that already or what the deal is. So I will. Oh, I better message the missus too and say I'm doing a live stream so she doesn't ring me in the middle of it. To bag and board. All right, cool. All right, let's get out the old trusty CLZ. I don't think anybody's going to be around anyway. I think most of the insomniacs, if they wanted to go live, they probably wanted to go live probably 2-3 hours ago and then keep going. But at this time, they're probably like, oh, I could probably go to sleep now. Well, that's all right. I'm quite happy with no viewers, no nothing. Just I will literally just need to do what I need to do. So, all right. So I got my bags, got my boards, got my tape, got my phone. Hopefully the Wi-Fi or the hotspot of my phone doesn't go too stupid. Yeah, I got a lot of bits and pieces floating around here that I need to cross off. Yeah. Sometimes I really hate stickers that people put on their books because it's not exactly easy to peel off sometimes. All right. One bag down. Oh, I can see. Oh, one person just jumped in very quickly, and that was it. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. All right. We'll try barcode. See how we go. Come on. What number's this? 193. Does it even pop up when you scan it, though? No. Screw it. Let's go. X-Men Uncanny Volume 1. This is the only problem with this. And then you got to scroll all the way up to the number you want, especially when it's a higher number. Always takes a while. Come on. Where are you? All right. 193. Come on. Load up and show me the picture. There we go. All right. So this one is a newsie. Not that I care. I've always said I don't care about newsstands or directs or anything like that as long as I got the book. First appearance 5-star in mainstream continuity. Add to collection. All right. And we're off. All right. Now I got a lot of bags of random stuff. All right, so that one. So that's actually for Sean, so I need to put that aside. All right. Let's try the good old barcode again. $20.99. First appearance of Hulk $20.99. Clear those search results so they're not in the way. I'll keep this. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just keep it. I'll have to go series for this one because it's a direct. Let's go. I would assume this will be volume 1, but this will be an early one. So I'd say it's probably that series there. What do we got? Number 61. Number 61. Where are you? God, my eyesight's really bad. Come on. There we go. Direct edition. Add to collection. I suppose it is a Marvel book, so I'll keep it in the collection. All right. So this one's for me. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. I left the tape on too long. Hey, sicko. What's going on, mate? The link's in the Insomniac chat if you want to jump on. I'm not going to be staying on for hours or anything like that, but I just need to do some bagging and boarding, sicko. So I'm not staying on very long. Maybe an hour or two at the most, just as long as I get my bagging and boarding done, or I don't run out of bags and boards. Nothing interesting. I'm literally, as I said, just bagging and boarding. That is all I'm doing. If nobody joins me, there'll be not much chatting going on. But yeah, you're more than happy to jump on, sicko, if you want. If you're not going to be disturbing anybody at whatever ungodly time it is. As I said, it is. Oh no, you left the Insomniac chat, didn't you? Hang on, I'll send it. Ugh. I'll send it to your normal one. Where are we? There we go. Copy. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. And paste. Cool. Yeah, more than welcome, sicko. But if you just want to just hang out in the chat, that's cool too. All right. All right, I'm gonna have to look for this one. Now, I wonder if the hyphen's in there or not. Let's try this. All right, so this is a variant edition, so I'm hoping this is in here somewhere. I'm assuming they did a fucking shitload of variant editions, which it looks like they did. Exclusive connecting variant. There it is. Beautiful. That is the trade dress version. Cool. Yeah. All right. What do we got now? Amazing Spider-Man. So that must be the connecting one. So I need to go to Amazing Spider-Man. Volume 6, maybe. I'm hoping. What is this? Number 37. I'll have to go down a fair whack because of too many freaking variants. 37. So there's the standard. Gotta wait for the frickin'. That's the only problem. Hey, Russ. Hope you're doing well, mate. Just doing bagging and boarding, Russ. Nothing super exciting. You're more than welcome to jump on if you want, if it's not disturbing anybody in the household. Yeah, just let me know in the chat or whatever like that, and I can send you a link. As I said, just bagging and boarding. Nothing super entertaining. Add to collection. But it needs to be done. If I don't do it on I'm not even going to scan that. If I don't do it, I will never get it done. All right. Let's get rid of those comic news. I really need to do a bit of a cleanup in my room too. All right. Yeah, it's mainly it's generally you hop on for a little bit. Oh, no worries. Hang on, just let me just grab the link. Super Russ and paste. Cool. Send it to your IG, Russ. So yeah, if you want to just jump on for a couple of minutes, it's all good. Hey, Papa. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, just as I said, literally just bagging and boarding. I have chucked it in the Insomniac chat because I know there's no point in probably putting it in any of the other chats that I'm in because everybody else is asleep. Thus, that's why it's an Insomniac chat, because it's for the Insomniac crew. Which, technically, I'm not really an Insomniac. It's more just the time frame difference. All right, let's go back to scanning the barcodes. I'm actually surprised CJ hasn't popped in yet. I thought he'd be, because I know he said he wanted to do it, but he didn't want to run his own one. He just wanted somebody, but that was like a couple of hours ago. Here he is. What's going on, Papa? You should be asleep. I suppose, That's what I hope it's not disturbing your mum. Don't want to disturb your mum or anything like that. But yeah, because it's almost 7 p.m. here for me, so I just need to get this fucking bagging and boarding done, because otherwise I'll never get it done. Russ said he might pop on. You're about to go to bed. Cool. Yeah, I thought CJ or Katie or something might have been around. I thought Sicko might have jumped on by now. That's all good. Ugh. It's all great riveting stuff here, bagging and boarding and all that sort of stuff. Add to collection. Come on. There we go. Hey. Oh, well. You need to do it. You need to do it. You coming on, Sicko? All right, cool. Ugh. All right, what the hell is this doing in here? I got some random turtle comic. Must have been free or something from the comic shop. Yeah. Nothing for me. That's all right. You accumulate a lot of crap. And the comics start, the comic stores just start chucking in free shit left, right, and center. Miles Morales, number 13. Yeah, a lot of random shit. Ugh. I'm waiting to, don't hear any ding or anything, so nobody else has popped in yet. Ugh. Yeah, Papa's typing something. Played number 6. How you set up the ding, I can't figure it out. Yeah, it's weird. It's because I didn't have it originally, so I'd be like looking down doing stuff, and all of a sudden I'd like look up and say a private message saying "Let me the fuck in," especially if you've got like 10 people. You gotta have a look further down the screen to find it. But it's something that makes just like just a weird like pop sound. I don't know whether, not meaning that as a pun, but yeah, there's a weird like pop sound that I can't remember where it is. Is it in settings somewhere? Is it hotkeys? No, hotkeys is just that crap. Guests. Yeah. So in your settings, it says guests, and then it says play a sound when the guest enters. You just click on that. Russ,
Yo, what's up, guys?
it's been a
How you doing,
while.
Papa? Yeah, I was just I couldn't sleep, so I was scrolling eBay and I saw the notification that you were live, so figured I'd
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, I'm literally, as I say, I'm literally just bagging and boarding if somebody, if I had no viewers for the whole hour or 2 hours, I wouldn't give a shit. Do like a Listerine stream of me just bagging and boarding and scanning, and that's it. But yeah, Papa jumped on. I think, yeah, 1 or 2 of the other guys might be popping on. So, well, here's another one. All
A
these
lot of
people that can't sleep.
insomniacs over here.
Yeah. What's going on, sicko? Oh, he
a
just
bunch
froze.
of stuff,
Oh, no, there we are.
A bunch of stuff.
So what the hell are you doing with your channel, Russ? You're bloody dropping all the Big Bang Theory shit. You're not worried about monetization anymore.
No, yeah, I decided not to monetize, so I'm just posting stuff that I love, man. That's been like one of my favorite shows, and it has a lot to do with like collectibles and comics and stuff. So I've been into it for a while. So I just been posting some of my favorite clips and throwing in some actual videos every now and again. Like my last couple have been like figure collecting stuff. I've been hunting for like different figures and stuff.
Oh,
It's been a while since I've done a comic call.
Did that fake Simon influence you into getting into figures now?
No, I just I've been lucky, man. The last like my Walmart is usually like a ghost town, but the last couple times I've been in there, I found some pretty cool figures to add to the collection.
Oh, okay. Do you live in a small town though, or is it a fairly decent?
It's a pretty small town.
Oh, okay.
But I'm close to Charlotte, which is a bigger city.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you'd be yeah, because you went to Heroes last year, didn't you?
Yeah. Planning on going back again this year.
Oh, there's gonna be a shitload more people going this year.
Yeah, I heard.
There's gonna be three Aussies going this year too.
Oh, really? I've heard Zars was coming down.
Sean's definitely going.
Yeah.
Lee's gonna be there. And also Dave from Still Only 35 Cents. You might not have crossed paths with him yet.
No, I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you should grab Simple Simon and come on down too, dude.
Yeah, I know. I can't afford it.
Just get Zars to put you in the carry on.
Yeah. Big fucking carry on. Yeah, no, I've had pretty much since because obviously it exploded last year. Like there's a few guys that go like every single year that are locals and stuff like Mark from Legion and all those sort of guys. But it absolutely exploded last year with with YouTube people, and like pretty much since before last year, there's been a few guys really hounding me to get down there.
It's awesome. Like for comics, it's awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody's been.
Everything from Golden Age to modern, you can find it.
Yeah,
Papa, how do I add you on Fortnite?
Oh shit!
Papa has been bugging me to download Fortnite, and I did.
Man, I suck at Fortnite so bad.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be good.
not happening, Papa. I'm not selling anything.
Sell me the AR-15.
Yeah, wish I had one. I don't know. One of the guys, who was it? I think it was Justin Birch. Actually, he bought an AR-15 at Last Heroes.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck.
I couldn't imagine getting books like that. Like, I would have to hit the lottery to go after like an Action 1 or something, or an AF-15, or even an X-Men 1. Those books are like way out of my limit.
Oh yeah,
I've been playing Magic the Gathering, and just because I want to be more competitive, and through some of the drafts.
Oh, you got to go, Papa. All right.
Oh, we'll see you later, Papa.
See you later, Papa.
We'll talk.
Have
later,
a good night,
okay?
Papa.
See you later, brother. And his favorite thing to do is the middle finger.
Yeah,
but
especially when CJ's around, anyway.
Especially when CJ's around.
Yeah.
So, shoot, what was I talking about? Oh, so through some of the Magic drafts, they were like, yeah, not that you're gonna get these cards, but if you get one of these, or if you get one of these, or if you get one of these, then holy shit. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't get one. And man, I got all three of the cards. And the thing that I learned is that, like, if I don't like really love these comic books, I'm literally losing sleep. I had to go buy a little safe to put them in and make sure that they're safe and going to hold their value. And I don't even care about the cards, really. It's just about the money in them. And I was like, man, I'm not buying any big books because I'll fucking lose sleep over it. Like,
yeah, well, and that's what I keep saying. Because everybody's like, why can't you get the heroes? And I'm like, well, money is the main one because it costs a fucking shit ton for one of us to get over there. And the other thing is, I've never been overseas before. So if I was going to do it, I'll do the either like the go big or go home sort of thing. I'm not going over there to spend $100. I want to go over there and spend like 10 grand or 20 grand and just go absolutely fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm local to it. Last year was the first time I've been in like 8 years, I think.
It's a super Spidey sicko or super sicko Spidey or whichever. I like that. Yeah. As much as I'd say, here I'm kind of in the same boat. I wouldn't.
But you've been to a
It
different
wouldn't
country though, like because you've been to the States.
like by
I haven't even been. I'm on an island continent.
miracle.
I can't go to another. I can't go to another country.
I
I
had a
could probably
friend.
go to like. I could go to New Zealand or Indonesia or Japan or something like that because that's relatively inexpensive, but it's still a lot of money for me, regardless.
I had a friend, and it was because of him that getting to another country with an individual like me was possible, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget him for it. The
Where did you go? You went MegaCon, didn't you?
We went to MegaCon. We went to Florida. We went to the second scariest place in the world. And for it, like for me, it was to face fears. And man, we faced every single fear, every single day, all the time. It was a terrifying experience. In all honesty, I was really happy to get home back to the middle of the Arctic Circle where there's nothing going on. I couldn't believe how many people were there, and yeah. And so if you're gonna fly all the way from Australia, which my mom's a geologist, and she travels to Australia all the time, and it's never is it easy. It's like 23-hour flights, overlays in like New Zealand, and it's never just like popping over to Florida where it's just like one flight, 7 hours.
It's not like 4-hour flight, go from one side of the country to the other, or go from Canada to US or anything like that. It's it's a very long ordeal, and it's very, very expensive. Like, because I know, because the missus and I actually, like last year when we were getting hounded by a few YouTubers, like, you got to get here, we looked into it, and I think the flight went from like Melbourne to, I think we had a direct flight to LA, and then it went from like LA to Dallas, and then from Dallas to Charlotte or something like that. It was going to cost something like $3,800.
Yeah,
or something
crazy.
like that for one person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, that's already my budget gone.
Yeah,
I was just so overwhelmed.
Yeah,
last year, like my budget at the con was $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, because but you're like, oh, I can go every year and spend $200, and then you sort of, it's like me going to like the big cons here.
Yeah,
it's only half an hour, 45-minute drive to the con, and I might go, okay, I'll only take $200 this time, or I'll take $1,000 this time. Yeah. I'm not going around the whole friggin' country or the whole friggin' world to spend $200.
Oh, for me, it's like I love just digging through the dollar boxes at cons, trying to complete some of the runs I have. So that's like my main thing, because I have 2 comic shops here, but none of them have dollar boxes. They eBay price everything. So the only time I see dollar boxes is if I get to go to the con, and that's when I just dig through them for hours and try to complete runs and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think my first thought would be to try and get the big books that I want and not pay Australian prices.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll try and hunt down an ASM 1. And I'm like, I know over there it's, I might be able to pick up one for maybe between $2,000 and $3,000. Over here, I can't find one less than $10,000. Yeah. In any condition, in any way, shape, or form. So
I think the biggest book I picked up was the Treasury Amazing Spider-Man Superman crossover.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest book I picked up, and the rest of them were relatively more cheap.
Yeah, I think I'd probably, because like I'm a big run guy too.
Yeah.
But most of my runs are all like silver and bronze age runs. So some of the the filler episodes might still be $5, $10,
Yeah.
$20 books. But I'd love to be able to knock off the 3 like last ASM books that I need for the whole entire run. Just be over and done with it. And then get some other big books. Like one book I'm actively hunting this year is Marvel Spotlight 5, which is first Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, but it's one, it's super rare over here, and 2, if anybody does have it, they ask an absolute like $1 million for it. It's ridiculous. So, but I think I could probably pick up that because I know like Rob Fatstacks last year, like he picked up, I think he went with like maybe $3,000 or something like that, and he picked up a Spotlight 5, GSX 1, first Captain America 117, first Falcon. He picked up first Punisher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like he picked up like about 10 like big like silver and bronze age big key books for that sort of price, and I'm just like, that's what I want to do. Like I'd be happy. I'd love to go over there and buy like 100 books, but you know, even like, you know, get some run fillers and, you know, finish off my Tomb of Dracula and my Werewolf by Night runs and stuff like that.
Like the biggest majority of my collection is 90s books. So it's like they're almost always $1 anyway to fill in the runs. It's like just in the past 3 years or so, I've started getting into the older books.
Yeah. What grade are you looking for? I just want a complete copy, Cineo. I'm not chasing. You know, I'm not a slab guy. Like if a slab's cheap enough, and I can afford it, because like the way I see slabs over here, if somebody says charging $500 for a book, and it's worth the same raw or graded, I'll just buy the slab and crack it. But yeah, like I'm just looking for just a raw copy. Doesn't matter whether it's low grade, as long as it's complete, then I'm happy. I'm a low grade collector.
Man.
That's
Like,
all I can afford.
Low grade is where it's at because it's just going in my collection, not trying to sell it. So I always go, like, if I'm going to get a slab, I go for the lowest grade that I can find.
Yeah. Like in saying that, like if somebody's got, say, a Marvel Spotlight 5, if they've got like 2 slabs, if they've got like a 0.5, but it's, you know, like missing a back cover for $500, then they've got like a 2.0 or a 3.0 for like $1,000, and it's all complete, then I'll go for that grand one.
Yeah.
Because I just want, and if it's got, if it's missing the Marvel value stamp, but it's not affecting the story, it's just on an ad page, then I'm happy with that too. That doesn't phase me.
A lot of times that's what I'll look for. Like if I'm going for a book that knows a little bit more, I'll jump on eBay and just try to find one that has like that green label missing. And if it just says ad page doesn't affect the story, I jump on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I bought my, it's actually still in the slab. I haven't cracked it yet. I bought a Hulk 182. So it's like the cheapest, obviously, of the 3 books.
Yeah.
But even that book is still a $200-$300 book over here. Even though it's not really a massive key of any kind. It's just the 3rd one in the, you know, the Wolverine Hulk triple. And it was a 6.0, but green label just because it was missing the value stamp. I knew the guy was selling, and he goes, just give me $100 for it. And I'm like, fucking oath, I'll just take it.
Good deal.
So yeah, that doesn't phase me. Like if it's a difference, if it's like $50 difference, one's got a stamp, one doesn't, I'll pay the $50 and I'll get the stamp. But if it's like a couple of $100 difference, then I'll get the one without the stamp.
It's crazy what the difference can be sometimes just between like one grade or even a half a grade on eBay.
Well, that's what a lot of guys are noticing at the moment, even doing like, you know, like Cover Price or Go Collect or any of those sort of, you know, pricing guide sort of things, that there seems to be a lot of books or a lot of ages where there's like there's some sort of like, I don't know, like a parallel universe almost where it's like, okay, everybody's hunting the really low grades because they think they're going to pick it up cheap. And then there's the really high grades at the exorbitant prices. But there's like a little space in between somewhere where you may be able to jump a good couple of grades for very little money. And that's what a lot of people have actually worked out in recent times. Because I think, somebody was buying, shit, what were they buying? Well, I can't remember. I think it was like was one of the Batman Silver Age Rogues Gallery first appearances. I can't remember whether it was Ivy or Two-Face or one of those sort of characters anyway. And they're looking at the 1.0, like this is in slab pricing, but they're looking at like 1.0s to 2.0s, and it was like $400. And then they looked at like the 8s and the 9s and that, and they were like 10 grand. But there was like around the 3 to 4 or 3 to sort of 6 mark. There was only like $50 or of last sold sort of differences between each of the grades. It's like, why wouldn't you just go just a little bit extra, get a slightly better book?
Yeah. I did that a lot last year when I was trying to finish this Dark Phoenix run set. Like some of the books are like a 6.0, but some of them go up to like a 9.2 because I felt like just crazy good deals in the middle of the night a lot of times. Like I got the 9.2, I think, for like $45 in the middle of the night. On one of the
what
books.
issue was that?
That's the issue. That was issue 137. Uncanny X-Men 137.
The one with like there's
it's
like
got,
Jean and Cyclops are standing
Jean
on the front
Grey
cover.
is on the cover with her Miss Marvel or Marvel Girl uniform.
Yeah, it looks like they're like out in space or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the book.
So I got real lucky with some of them, and so I think the highest graded one I got is the 134, the first Dark Phoenix, and the only reason I got that in that high grade because that was an AOK from Daymares.
Yeah, you going for like Phoenix Saga or Dark Phoenix Saga or both?
Yeah, I managed to complete it. I got all the issues slabbed. Yeah, I completed it last year.
Yeah, because that 101 is a bitch to bloody get. That first.
Actually,
Phoenix.
I got that one. She's back in 2018 or 2019. I picked that one up before it went
before the COVID
too
boom.
high. Yeah.
I
noticed the prices going up, so I went ahead and grabbed it before it went crazy.
Yeah, because that book's still like it's come down, but it's still because that book's
think,
on my hit list.
I can't remember if it's a 5 or a 5.5, but it's one of those, a 5 or a 5.5.
Yeah, because I know like during COVID, I actually had a look at that book. That's a book that's on my wish list, and I think there was like most people were trying to sell like slabs, and most of them were like, even the low grades were like $1,000.
Yeah, it got crazy.
Like that. Oh, it's just I don't know what a raw's like now, but whether we can, like I'd be happy to, pay like $100, $200, $300 or whatever for a half decent copy, as long as it's complete. But I don't want to be spending $1,000 if I don't really need to.
Yeah.
So, 'cause I think that's the most expensive book out of the whole thing. I think
it might still be.
Yeah, because it's a bloody good story. Like, not that I'm much of a reader anymore, but
yeah,
I just
that's one of my favorite stories. I got the trade paperback of it because I knew I was going to be getting the books in slabs, so I picked up the trade paperback too, so I could read it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of slab collectors seem to be doing these days. Is they were like, I actually want to read the story. They'll either read it digitally or they'll just pick up a trade.
I like to have the physical book if I can get it rather than digital.
Yeah, at least and that's the thing. Like, it's A lot of old school guys love the physical media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
But
very
that's
much
what I love about the trade paperbacks, man. They're like relatively cheap, and you can get the whole story complete in one book.
yeah.
If you're a
Yeah.
reader, those are great.
I think that's why so many people have jumped on the omnibus runs as well. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
hype on that, because you can literally get like 50 book run
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever
it's
like
crazy
that
how
in an
much they put into
omnibus.
those.
But those things can be super expensive too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been real hesitant about jumping into the omnibuses. Like, if I was going to get one, the first one I would go for would probably be the Death and Return of Superman story,
Mm,
because that's like what got me into collecting back in the '90s, anyways.
yeah. I still need to get rid of those bloody Superman books that I have too. No, I
You
won
gotta
them
like call in an exorcist to get the DC out of your house.
pretty much. I like literally like all the doubles and stuff that I want to get rid of is getting quite large a stack.
Yeah,
But the only thing that's really like would be sort of eye appealing to do, like maybe as a giveaway or something like that, is that Superman set that I won from Legion. Because it's got like all the the ones up the
that
top
whole
row.
wall is the Reign of Superman storyline.
Yeah,
from
it's the
'93.
whole set. It's the whole set of all those like singular colored books.
Oh yeah,
I know they're not worth like a great deal or whatever like that, but and then there's one book that's actually got a picture on it, but it's in a slab. It's a 9.6 slab, but it's something to do with the death of Superman or the rebirth, or I don't know anything about freaking Superman. Something around that era, anyway.
yeah.
So, but I need to do something with these books. I know people say, "Oh, why don't you sell it?" But there's nothing besides those. There's nothing really there of any great value. I'm not going to go to like some little.
You could try like mystery boxes or something, maybe.
No, I don't have enough for mystery boxes.
No.
Like I have a decent amount, but I don't have. I'd have to go through my whole collection, and it's mainly modern books that I'm finding at the moment that I've got doubles. Because they're having two comic shops that I have pull lists with. One is through Pull Box, so that's Mark from Big City Comics. But the other one that we've been with for a long time, they're like, "Oh, there's a new Spider-Man title. We'll just put it in his box and see if he wants it."
Yeah.
So which is sort of good in a way, because I'm like, "Oh, I haven't looked at what's coming out in ages." I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. They put one in my box. That's great. And
Nice.
and I'm like, yeah, I'll get the rest of them. But I'm finding a lot of doubles because I'm just like, oh fuck it, it's in my box. I'll just buy it or whatever.
I know, like another thing about the modern books, man, it's like it seems like every issue just has variant on variant on variant cover.
Oh, it's getting beyond.
That's one of the reasons I stopped collecting modern books back in it was maybe 3 years ago now, and just started focusing on the older stuff.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, amazing. I have to keep up with, to keep the entire run intact. Yeah. But then you sort of get hooked. You're like, oh, but I have a lot of Ghost Rider comics, so I'll collect the recent volume of Ghost Rider, or I've got a lot of Punisher books. I'll do the same with him, and then there's a Spider-Man miniseries. I'll get that too, and then it's just. I have cut back a lot, but it's still.
Does Spider-Man still have like multiple titles, like Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah, and they sort of stop them for a while. It's like where is it? So I don't know whether they're going to do this or not, but they've just released a one shot of Web of Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
But it's actually a Greg Capullo cover, so actually coming back over to Marvel to do some covers.
That's cool.
But it's got like some extra bits and pieces in there telling you about the Spidey stories that are going to be happening during this year. But the thing is, though, if this probably sells well, they're probably like, "Oh, okay, we'll do a mini series. Oh, no, we'll do it an ongoing series now." And it's like, yeah, it's like, where does it like Spider-Man's almost as bad as Batman, like with the amount of titles and crossovers and spin-offs, and it's just getting.
I know. It was like it back in the '90s too, man. Superman had 5 different titles at one point.
Mm. Oh yeah, it's beyond a joke. But that's the thing, like, like you get hooked. You're like, oh, I'll just collect Spider-Man titles, or I'll just collect Superman titles, or
Yeah.
I'll just you're screwed if you're a Batman or a Spider-Man guy, but
Oh yeah.
X-Men's not that much better. Because
Yeah,
you're like,
that's how it started to me. Like when I first started collecting, I was just Superman for like the whole first year,
Mm.
and then I slowly started getting into Batman, and then I saw the '90s Spider-Man cartoon and the '90s X-Men cartoon, and so that got me into Spider-Man and X-Men comics, and then it just kept going, man.
oh yeah, it does that. It's the way they get you.
Yeah,
Ugh. It is hard to stop. What's this? Sicko likes the Venom Carnage symbiotes. That's the worst. Yeah, that's not much better. Because then obviously you got Venom, and then you got Carnage, and then it's like, oh, let's do a cult of Carnage or a cult of Venom. Oh,
yeah.
let's do a Venom verse. Let's do there's a new character called Misery. Let's do a little 4-part mini and oh yeah, that starts getting beyond a joke too.
Even more Jeff the Shark, like all
Oh,
kinds of stuff. And
oh god.
I mean,
Can't
like
believe anybody collects that.
Captain Marvel's cat. Man, I got long boxes and long boxes of it.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know they went
It's
through.
fatiguing that I don't know what anything else is going on in the Marvel universe, because I don't have the money or the time to like focus on anything other than like when I got into symbiotes, I was like, I wanted all the symbiote first appearances. I want all Venom books. Do you know how many books I accumulated in the first 2 years of just buying Venom covers? Like it's ridiculous. He's on X-Men books. They'll slap him on anything. He's on like there was a whole. Then they did like Venomized covers where you can get everyone else in Venom form, and I was just like, oh. But then I got the FOMO. I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then something else comes out, and they're like, oh, Venom, shiny, shiny, and you're just like, all right, take my money. And they're like, that'll be $17 for one foily comic book, and you're like, bro, like,
well, that's what happened with
just
because obviously Beck collects Spawn, and they did a thing last year where every single Image book, like every single title, had a Spawn related cover, and Spawn was somehow integrated into the story somehow, even if it was just a picture on the back of somebody's wall or something like that, he'd be in it. So she's like, oh, fuck it, I'll just get all of them. So she had to try and track down, I think it was
it
something
got
like
so ridiculous.
54 books or something stupid like that. And
Man,
it's just like, oh, it's getting beyond a joke. They fucking reel you right in real quick. It's nuts.
I know they did that with Alien too, man. They put Alien on like a ton of different Marvel covers, and I didn't
Single.
pick any up, but I don't think any part of the story was about it. They just threw them on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah, because they know, because that's the thing,
First
like,
Venom book. The first Venom, I was like, I'm a completionist. I'm buying them all. I don't care how exasperating this is. I got to the Planet of the Apes variant cover where, and I don't like Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, this monkey's symbiote Spider-Man. It's not even Venom. And I was just like, I can't do it. I can't. It's too much.
it was too much a long time ago. So now they've even got like Symbiote Spider-Man 2099.
That was cool. That
I know
was cool.
they did the same thing with Carnage too. I think
Oh yeah.
Carnageized covers and stuff on everything.
Oh yeah. It's
everything.
fucking ridiculous.
The other one I had to say no to was the Venom swimsuit. I was like, there's no difference between wearing a symbiote suit and it being a bathing suit. You're just running around in another skin tight suit. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, it's and they do it like, and that's what they bank on, because there was no such thing as a cover collector back in the day. You know, like you collected your favorite character, or you collected your favorite run, or you were going after keys or whatever, and then all of a sudden now all there are just like variant cover collectors or just cover collectors, and it's just it's
And
getting
it seems like almost
And
constant,
all
like
the
#1 reboots.
yeah. That's why, like, I would have been
Yeah,
happy for
the
Amazing
fucking
Spider-Man to be like over 1,000 by now, because your numbers that you need. But
Yeah.
now it's like, oh shit, is this volume 3 or volume 20,000? It's
And then, like, every now and again, they'll throw the legacy numbering back on it for a few issues, and then boom, right back to the new number, and it's got to be confusing, like when you're trying to put them in order too, man.
well, that's why I think, like, because when I know, especially with Amazing Spider-Man, they tried it. They went volume 2, which was in the 90s, and they tried rebooting the numbers, but then they had so much backlash from it that they actually did double numbers. So they did the number of the issue from that volume, but then they did the legacy numbers. So it'd be like number 45, but it'd be like 762 or whatever it was. And I think with that, I can sort of deal with it, because you can just look at the legacy numbers. But
Yeah.
when you're up to, like, I think Amazing Spider-Man's up to like volume 6 or 7 or something now. It gets so hard when you're like, oh, I'm missing this and missing that. Like, I know they did it with they also changed the names sometimes. So when the 90s hit, when those cartoons hit, and like Jim Lee did the X-Men run that was just called X-Men, it wasn't Uncanny. And then Spider-Man that McFarlane started, it was just Spider-Man. Well, later on, the Spider-Man run ended up becoming Peter Parker Spider-Man. So you're like, but it's like, is this volume 2 or is this still volume 1? Or is it, and it just, it starts getting so confusing. You literally need to like Google, how do I collect this run?
Yeah. You're always like, wait, this one, and then we jump over here, and then I only need one X-Men book, and it's this one, and I don't even know why, but I have it. And then you read it, and it's just like, oh, there was a picture of a dragon in it, and that might be important, because it gets exhausting.
That's why I like, using like CLZ now, is because you can literally just see the whole volume of what you're collecting. And the only hard part is like, if you click on missing issues, it does like all the B's and all the C's and all the D's, and like you're just like, I just want to collect all the A covers of this run. I just need to know what that is.
The 1 in 25, the one per store signed by Todd McFarlane. Never getting that.
Oh,
but shit, we gotta show you. We gotta tell you you're not getting it. Don't forget, you're not rich enough for this. Just like, bro,
fuck you, bro. Oh, bastard. I thought you were doing a live stream now, Bo.
Me? Right now?
Yeah, they usually yeah, say the chats Joe's the only one who control me.
Was CJ doing a live show?
Oh no, it's pre-recorded. Okay. No, I saw in the Insomniac chat, he goes, oh, I wouldn't mind doing Insomniac, but I couldn't be bothered running one. So I thought, oh,
well,
that was like three hours ago or something. And that's when I chucked the message in when I saw it, and I'm like, well, I need to do bagging and boarding. So if anybody wants to jump on, just jump on. I'm not going to run it for like 8 hours like CJ will, but I'll just do it until I'm finished. So, but no, I haven't even seen CJ pop into the chat. I like that. Who were the first 47,770 Joes? That joke's probably been done before, I would say. So do you still have a pull list at all, Russ, or you're not getting any modern series at all?
No, I haven't collected anything new in going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
The last new books I got 2020 or 2021 when they did that mini series for Superman 78 and they brought back the Christopher Reeve Superman for the comics. It was just a 6-issue run. Those were the last new books I picked up.
I thought, you being like a Superman guy, you might have just had that on your pull list or something.
Nah. I tried back in 2018 or 2019 when Bendis was doing Superman, but I just couldn't get into his run at all, so I dropped it.
Yeah, I suppose for you too, it's like that's the story as well. Whereas me, it's like it's the completionist for me.
Really? Yeah.
Because
I haven't
read it.
I've got so many gaps in my books from the 90s that I just decided to focus on those because the majority of those are like $1 and they're real easy to get.
Yeah. Yeah, which is probably a good way to do it as well, especially if you're collecting on a budget and things like that.
Yeah.
Just you're like, I love this stuff. It's what I grew up on. If I just collect that, I'll be right.
Yeah, but like one of the things that's hurt the budget some is like over the past 2 or 3 years, I've gotten into some Bronze and Silver Age, and some of those hurt the wallet a little bit, but I still pull the trigger once in a while.
Well, that's probably the good thing because I know like a lot of people have been saying it that ever since the COVID bubble has sort of evened out a little bit and the market sort of steadied a little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed some of those books have come back down some, which is
a
nice.
lot of them have come down, but DC keys are still relatively not inexpensive, but a lot more affordable than the Marvel keys. So you could buy like big DC keys from the Silver or Bronze Age. And if you do a comparison to like a big Marvel book, they're probably half the price.
Yeah,
so it's
usually.
Like, so you can still like go really well if you do want to collect your DC stuff. But unfortunately, that's my downfall is that I'm a Marvel head through and through, and that's all.
I mean, that's good though, man. That keeps you focused on collecting. It's hard when you because I end up loving almost everything I read. So it's hard to try to keep yourself from buying everything.
Yeah.
So it's good to have focus, man, and know what you're going after. Because when I go to a con and stuff, I don't go in with a plan or a set list. I just I like that one, and this one, and then just end up usually going over budget.
Yeah, and that's what, and I'm sort of like half and half. Like because I'm going into a lot of these conventions, especially over here, because I don't have the range or the variety. So I'm like more, this is how much I have.
Yeah.
I know basically what I want, whether it's a whole heap of big books or a whole heap of small books or run fillers or whatever. And it's just whatever sort of takes my eye. So a lot of it's impulse. So I still want the books, but a lot of it's like, oh, that's on my wish list. It's a reasonable price. I'll just buy it. What else can I get now? So I want to go in and maximize dollars. I want to try and get as many books as I can for my dollars. But sometimes you might go in with like $500, buy two $200 books, and you're like, what do I do with the last 100? Do I buy one more reasonably priced decent key, or do I try and find a whole heap of like $10 and $20 books to try and maximize of getting big books and small books? So I don't think I could walk into a con with $500 and buy a $500 book.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like,
no,
what else
I
could I do
couldn't
with my time?
Yeah. I don't think I could
Well,
spend 500
it
on one book. That
depends.
would be
If it was
that would
spending
hurt the
3, I'd be all
anxiety.
Oh, I've done it. Like I've only cracked the 4-digit mark probably twice or 3 times at the most. But like I've gotten close plenty of times too. Like I think the most I ever spent on a Spider-Man book was about $900, and that was for 14.
Oh, that's the first Green Goblin.
First Green Goblin.
That's a good pickup.
The most I ever spent on a book was my Tomb of Dracula 10. That was, I think, $1,200.
What was
that
that?
was in
Was that Moon Knight or Blade?
That's Blade.
Blade.
So that was I think a 4 or a 5.0. It's still in a slab. I still haven't cracked it yet. But that was just after like the COVID. The COVID boom was still sort of around.
Yeah.
But it was a thing of money and opportunity where one of the guys in one of my Facebook groups was selling a whole heap of big books, and that one just popped out at me straight away because I wanted it for years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you do payment plans? And he's like, yeah, I do payment plans. I'm like, yep, I want that book. I'm going to take that book right now. But he had like other books that I wanted. He had FF 48 and 49, which is another 2 books that I'd absolutely love to have.
Those have been on my list for a little while.
Yeah, he had First Moon Knight. He had all these big books that I all wanted, but that was the one that I'm like gravitated towards. I'm like, I have to get that book.
The most I ever dropped on one book was $400. And that ended up being kind of a mistake because it was at a time where the boom was like still there. And it was Avengers 57, the first Vision.
Yeah.
And now that book in that grade is only worth 200. So I ended up like, if I would have just waited a couple more years, I could have got it a lot cheaper.
But that's the other thing that I take into account. I'm like, because we're such a fucked up market over here, is I'm like, a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you, try and look for it on eBay US and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, okay, yes, I do have people I can send books to now that will like, make a small pile and then I can just, ship it in like what Simon does with Bubs.
Yeah.
So I can do that, but it's like, I never seem to find what I'm looking for at the time, or the Aussie dollar is just absolutely shit. So I'm literally just, I'm paying through the nose over here, but I'm still getting good deals for books for what they're worth over here. So if it's like I'm making plenty of contacts with a lot of comic sellers and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, I know this is the $300 book in the US. So with a currency conversion, that's about a $500 book Australian, but everybody's selling it for $1,000 over here.
Oh, yeah.
I can get one for like $600. That's a good deal for me. So, and that's the way I've got to look. Is I've got to do extra math and crap in my head for somebody who's absolutely shit at maths. And that's the way I've got to, like, I've literally got to buy books. And sometimes it's just the fact of like when I'm chasing my Tomb of Dracula and my Werewolf by Night run, they're super fucking rare over here. Like you never find them, or if you do find them, everybody's got exactly the same issues. Can't find those, 5 or 10 or 15 issues that I need to finish the run. But when I do, they're like, it's a common issue and somebody wants $50 for it. Sometimes you've got to go, fuck it, I just need it. So yeah, sometimes you don't have a choice over here. Whether it's like you guys, somebody might say, oh, I'm in a small town, I've only got one comic store, they haven't got, good back issues or something, but you've got so many other resources and cons and stuff you could sort of get to.
Yeah.
That, you're spoiled for choice. So
how close are you now to completing that early Amazing Spider-Man run, man?
3 issues.
Yeah.
For that's the whole entire run, not just the early run.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Like all the way up to current?
Yeah. So from 1 to current, 3 issues.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's taken me probably 20 plus years, 25 years. Something like that. Because it's like, like everybody in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
It's you go hard for a couple of months and then something else, I get stuck into movies or I start collecting statues or original art and stuff like that, and the comics sort of take, the back, the back end sort of thing. And
Yeah.
but yeah, literally only 3 issues. And it was only the last decade that I decided to go to get all the annuals as well. So I literally have the entire run, including the annuals. I only
Man,
needed
that's awesome.
ASM Annual 1, and I was able to pick that up late last year, actually. So yeah, it's so hard because they're 3 big fucking books that I need. The only one that's probably achievable is number 4. That's First Sandman. That's probably the only one that's semi-achievable. But there you go, Sicko. He's not concentrating.
Oh man, I haven't seen that one before.
That's only a cover, eh? It's only a newer issue. Fucking shitload of symbiotes.
Or maybe
on the front,
maybe that's waiting in my pull box for me.
Pull box, yeah. Yeah. So number 4, I reckon, is achievable if I'm lucky enough to stumble across one, because I stumbled across the number 6, First Lizard, late last year. The guy let me pay it off, so I was able. That was the 4th book that I needed, so that brings me down to 3. But I still need, obviously, number 1, big boy book.
Yeah.
And number 3, First Doc Ock, which is almost just as bad.
I would love to get my hands on a issue 14, the first Green Goblin, one of these days. Green Goblin's always been like my favorite Spider-Man villain.
That would be a 1, 3, and 4. Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
That's 3 Doc Ock.
Yeah, 3 is Doc Ock.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing. Like, I'm seeing like 0.5s of number 1 are still going for like 3-4 grand. It's like
when it's a 0.5, don't that mean pages are missing?
It could possibly be. Like, you can still get a 0.5 and complete. It just means, it's usually like cover detached and might be missing a staple and like the value stamp. I don't actually, do they do value stamps in the Silver Age?
I can't remember. I don't think they did values in the Silver Age.
No. So yeah, it'll be like detached cover. It'll be ripped to shit. There'll be all that sort of stuff, but it'll still be complete. But it's very rare to find one.
The only book that I know of that I have that has a Marvel value stamp is Marvel Premiere 15, the first Iron Fist.
Yeah, I think value stamps are mainly in the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people try and look for a like a Hulk 181 or a 180 without the Marvel value stamp to try and get it for a cheaper price. That's what Biggie did, because Biggie picked up his 181 finally and had no Marvel value
Oh, nice. Stamp. I didn't know he got that finally.
Have you gotten rid of all your doubles for trade money? No, unfortunately.
Oh, it means you. Okay. I've got the same problem. I've got doubles for trade. And
yeah, so that's the problem. Most of my doubles are all modern books, non-key modern books.
Oh yeah.
That are like, as I said, with the 2 comic stores having a pull list with, I just accidentally double up on shit, and it's just like, fuck it, I'll just pay for it. So, like, I'd literally, the only way I'd be able to sell them. Yeah, the only way I'd be able to sell them would be to, like, literally go to one of these small comic fairs and just try and offload them for like $1 or $2 each.
What you do, man?
That'd be the only way.
Like, when Halloween rolls around, just put your doubles in the bag with like the Snicker bar and stuff for the kids.
Yeah, Halloween's not that big over here.
And a Reese cup.
the saying, "One man's trash is another man's treasure," is absolutely true in this hobby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Well, it's like
and I can, because like, I mean, everything you see, there's no comic books in here except there's one box over there that needs to go, and this is my space, um, and I'm going to be here for. We just recently found out that my place on the waiting list is still 2 years out at least.
no.
So I'll be here for another, but that's okay, because I'm happy, she's happy, and life's good. And
Mm.
but one day I'd like to be in a position where I can live with my wife and buy my own groceries and provide for myself, and everything that normal people do. Well, we won't get into that, but dollar bins, or like, my boss all the time is like, okay, go take a break, and part of my break is he'll let me pick out a dollar book, and I get to go read it. And so every day that I spend some time picking out. But what started happening is I'll pick out books that I'm like, oh, that might be something that I can trade. I've seen people, even though it's not worth a lot of money, I see people holding this book up all the time, being like, oh, this was a great book, or this was a great cover, or the great artist. And by accumulating these things, someone comes along and they go, oh, wow, and they're not in great condition. And it's almost like they get so excited about that a little bit. They're like, I think we could do a deal here. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll give you hundreds for that X-Men right over your shoulder. And of course, I know that's like, he's looking at me like, dude, you're crazy. You have no idea what you're pointing at. And that's the point. Here's one of my little secrets: is throw him a curveball and completely like be like, oh man, this doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. And I know that that's got to be, what is that, a 9? Are those all 9/8 X-Men Saga Super Russ over
No,
your shoulder?
those are like 6 O's and 7 O's and
Okay.
6
Okay.
5s, stuff like that. Yeah.
Still some decent money there. Not
Yeah, I don't.
anything cheap.
I think
And
that
then
I've got
then he
maybe
starts looking around. He's like, well, you know
maybe
what, I
2
could trade
slabs I
you.
have that are 9/8, and those are like 90s books that I got for like $40.
I
Hey, Gray
love it.
Man.
What's up, Gray?
I I love Gray Man.
Yeah,
I
Gray
watch
Man's
Gray
awesome.
Man in the afternoons all the time. Gray Man's here. Gray Man, this is sicko, man. I don't think he's ever seen me. This is
Gray
exciting.
Man's probably still half. He's probably still half asleep. He probably doesn't even know who we are. Like Russ and I have known him for
When
years.
isn't Gray Man half asleep?
I don't know what time it is in the UK, but over here where I'm at, it's like almost 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm up with Sicko, I mean, if I'm up with Spidey, it's not.
It's very early.
It's not early. Yeah, it's very early. Most people are sleeping.
I guess it's
What
evening.
you're on
East
Coast
like?
time? You're on East Coast time, Sicko?
So I have my time zones. And then the world that I live in here in Saskatoon has a time zone, which is Central Standard Time.
Okay.
But for convenience, I jump back and forth between Eastern and Pacific, because I always have to translate both of them into Standard Time. But if I'm just hopping over from one or the other, it's a lot easier to be like, well, if that's this time, then that should be this time. Where if I have to be like, okay, so if it's that time there and it's that time there, what time is it for me up here in the middle of nowhere? That I've blacked out all of my clocks. That for me, like he said, it's 5 a.m. So my world, we're living in a 5 a.m. world right now. Is that a morning show? Is that a late night show? Usually it's a late night show. Morning shows don't start till like 7, 8. And I try to read the room and go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and it's hard too because we've got like the 3 or 4 time zones in the US, and then obviously Canada sort of falls into a lot of those. But then you've got Australian time zone, you got UK time zone. If you watch anybody in any of the European time zones, it's like it can get confusing, especially if you follow a lot of people in a lot of different countries and a lot of different parts of the world.
Yeah, trying to incorporate. Oh, come on, Glenn. Glenn Obi.
Oh yeah, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn and MadSpidey are the hardest ones for me. I know MadSpidey does a show around afternoon Saturdays that I'm getting used to, but like what time is it over there, MadSpidey? Like I have no idea. There, if it's dark out, if it's sunlight out.
No, it's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. on what's today? I don't even know what fucking today is. What today is? Today's Wednesday. So if you're 5 a.m., then you'll be on Wednesday by now. So
yeah, dang man. So you like 13 or 14 hours ahead.
Depending on the part I think it's 16 between 14 to 17 or 14 to 18 or something, depending on which side of the extreme sides of US you're on.
When I was doing a lot of CJ's insomnia shows, I learned something where I have to be a little more careful about checking the time after midnight, because I'll check the time after midnight and be like, all right, this is what I'm doing tomorrow, and I don't check times. Super rusty, like I have Asperger's, and so certain things make my life easier, and so not looking at the clock and just doing certain routines one after the other on a specific day. Problem being is if it's not actually that day, we're completely off doing completely different things, and so I showed up to work one day early, and they tried to explain to me. They're like, you don't work today. And I was just like, no, I always work today. They're like, no. You work tomorrow. I'm like, I used to work tomorrow, but now I work today. And they're like, do you mean that you used to work Fridays and now you work Thursdays? I was like, yeah, exactly. And they're like, but it's Wednesday. And I'm like,
oops.
Whoa. Oh, so much shit makes sense now. That I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go home.
It's
back
hard
tomorrow.
too, man. Like,
it's like,
like insomnia and stuff. Sometimes you just lose track.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the thing. Like, it's even with like CJ's Insomniac chats. Like, he might not start them until 10, 11, midnight even sometimes. It's just when he's like, I can't sleep, I'll just start up a stream. And they'll be going for like 7, 8, 9 hours sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you're starting it at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then you're like, oh, what time is it? I suppose I better think about going to bed. And you go, fuck, I've got to go to work in half an hour. It's like, well. There you go. So go tell your boss to call you or text you or something.
He knows what I do. He watches sometimes even, and so it's funny sometimes. He's like, "Hey, I was watching you till 4 a.m. So I'm gonna be on you because you're not gonna be well rested." And yeah, sometimes he finds me like with like a dust thing, just kind of like zoned out, dusting the same thing over and over. He's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Oh yeah. We now we're moving around."
Yeah.
But man,
Get trapped in your own little world.
yeah, OCD. You're just like, right. Time management is another difficult thing that I'm working on. But I'm really lucky. I get to work on these work skills through the Canadian Mental Health Association. They got me set up with the comic book store, so which is amazing because the alternative was the water bottle. I was like,
comic book store is definitely better.
The motherfucking yeah, dude. But everyone else was just like, I don't want to work at a fucking comic book store, and I was just like, you fucking kidding me? So we tried them out, and you stand there for 8 hours and pull a lever, and you get to listen to your music. Everyone else loved it. They're just like, look at me. And like they were like, Leon, sicko, what do you think of the first day? And I was just like, shoot me. Like, just take me out back and shoot me. This is the most agonizing. Just put me out of my misery. Like, there's robots that do this. Don't make me do this.
Yeah.
But there's different levels of ability. Grocery shopping is still just a world of numbers. And
my partner's son has Asperger's. He doesn't work. Oh. Didn't know that, Gray.
Yeah, working's difficult. Some of us want to very desperately, and we're unable to, and others just have zero interest and are into their own worlds.
Yeah, I think it would be better to have something to try and like one, obviously fill up your time. Two, sort of it gives your mind time to focus on something as well. Like as you said, like sometimes you zone out and you might be tidying the same shelf for like 10 minutes when it should have taken you a minute. But
yes,
you're still sort of focusing your brain on an activity. So it's training your brain to try and get through those sort of things.
One of the things
I can see where you're coming from because I deal like with a lot of anxiety and depression and OCD. I'm dyslexic, so I can see where like because it's real easy to zone out and
they're
like
similar.
This time sometimes feels like it goes by like nothing.
Like that, it's just been like half an hour.
I definitely get it.
Or the other end, time feels like it's standing still, and you're just like, oh my god, it's only been 2 minutes. That's a little bit more of a newer experience for me. I find it very interesting. If I took my one day, and this is how I think of it. So I take that 8 hours and I compress it into one day, and I times that by 4, and then I times that by 12, and then I think of it differently, and I say, okay, we take 5 times 4 times 12 and look at those numbers, and they're like astronomically different. And I'm just like, man, I have so much trouble just working one day of the week at a comic book shop that, like, when people come home from work and they're just like, man, I had such a crummy day and this and that and this and that, I really feel for them. And I'm just like, dude, it's not just like your hurt feeding, it's your feet hurting. It's this man just like slaved away a whole year almost, you know. That when we're just kind of milled into this system, we've taken for granted what we expect from people. It's not a small amount. You guys do amazing things, even if it's something very minor as helping run a fast food chain. It's not minor, especially not for the person doing it. They're dedicating a lot of their personal resources. And when I see someone, you know, at Starbucks be like, I didn't get my triple frap, it was only a double frap, and they absolutely blow up, then I'm just like I know what these goddamn baristas are going through. Why? I don't even know what baristas are going through. Do we really need to add that to the?
Well, I mean, working in any kind of fast food is brutal, anyways.
Retail's not that much better.
I tried. I worked at a Burger King, like back in 2007, for like 6 months, and that was the worst job I've ever had in my life. It's like that made me miss construction work, and I'm like partially blind in my left eye and kind of clumsy, so I was always getting injured on the construction site. But working at Burger King made me miss doing that.
Yeah. I've had some construction jobs that were terrible.
Any job can be monotonous, but I think still if you take pride in your work, regardless of what it is, you know, I think you can still find a sense of achievement of some things. But especially like Sicko said with Asperger's, even you might have be given the most boring, monotonous job, but I think if you can, do a task and complete it, I think that's still a great achievement for something like that. Definitely.
Well, I mean,
I'm very OCD as well. I'm very OCD as well. I don't have clinical OCD, but I'm very OCD with, I want things this way and I want things clean and I want, all that sort of stuff. But that's just me. That's the way I sort of, I was raised, and, and I've taken that through to my work. Like, my room is a
obsessive compulsive, but
my work room is good. What was that, Sicko?
People think of mental health sometimes in strange ways, that there is such a thing as obsessive compulsiveness. And I believe to certain variations we all have it.
Yeah.
And only reaches a critical amount that it interferes with your life does it become a disorder. And that disorder is like, I can't leave the parking lot until I do these rituals that make no sense, that it impedes on your life. And that's when a doctor that these things exist before doctors say you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like one of my things is, like, when I have to go grocery shopping, I always have to get the third item back on the shelf. So if there's something that I need to get, but there's not 3 of them, then I for some reason I can't buy it. I have to get the third one back on the shelf.
Dude.
Yeah, so that's actual clinical OCD. Whereas with me, my OCD is just like, I like things clean and I like things in order, and I like things in alphabetical order, like that sort of OCD. So it's not a clinical OCD. It's just a way that I am sort of thing. But I'm still very, like that. But yeah, like with yours, like I know. I used to go to a school with a kid where he couldn't leave a room unless he turned the doorknob like 17 times or something before he left the room, and then he'd have to do it like another 3 or 4 times or something like that when he left the room. And it was just for some reason he just had to do it every single room he went in and out of a door. He had to do it, and like that's the full like bad clinical.
Yeah,
like
it's
OCD
bad.
stuff.
Like I've tried to make myself not do that. Like I've tried to just go in quick and just get the first thing and put it in the buggy and just. But I always end up going back and putting it back and getting the.
I totally know what you mean. I totally know what you mean. I do this exact thing. That like it's not a specific number for me. It's just like, I'll just reach and get a particular. There is OCD. Sometimes I pull it out, and in your mind you're just like, that wasn't the bag. You're like, oh damn it! So then I pull out the next one, and you're like, if that's not the bag, then we're just doing those. But yes, when there is only one or two, I'm like, well, we're definitely taking number 2. And when there's one, I really have to tell myself, like, okay, well, we'll be okay. But as I'm walking to the till, I really do feel like I'm holding tainted good. It's like,
exactly.
I don't know. I really have to do some work for it to be okay.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, God, if there's a choice, no, it's never the first one. Never the first one. God knows what happened to the first one. And then you see some sort of TikTok where the guy opens it, eats 3 chips, and reseals it perfectly. You're like, that
always makes me second guess when I'm buying something, because I've seen so many videos of people like opening ice cream and just licking it and then putting the lid back on. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I can't. I would punch somebody if I saw him do that when I was in the store.
Oh man, I am. Well, I am generally a pretty chill guy. Now on Insomnia one time, I did lose my cool. I will admit to that. You can go watch that. It's comical.
Just the once? Just the once?
Just maybe a couple times. Maybe a couple times. One that I really was like, I flew off the handle, and I felt bad. Maybe
I think that was the one. Was that the one you were just in the you were just in the chat?
Man, let's not reignite what happened there. Someone said a specific word, and
it set you off. You were in the chat, that one. I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, thank God I wasn't on camera. Anyway, I was pacing around the house. But what was I saying?
Joe, try to fix broken Christmas lights. Nobody wants to do that, especially when they're all like rolled in a ball and stuff like that. Like somebody with OCD would do that.
Oh man,
but I'd be more inclined to throw it in the bin and go and buy a new set.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the whole item buying process is losing my cool. But I'm famous for losing my cool in the grocery store. The grocery store, because of the light sounds, and I swear they were created by the CIA to subtly torture Western society. How did they make such a terrible entity exist, and that we need it? It's where we need to go for our food. That
I always hate going there.
Oh my God, what's the worst grocery store? we're all going to have different ones because we have different,
Well,
you know.
the closest
He's
one
in
to me is a
Australia.
local food line.
Where are you? Are you East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah,
So
I'm in North Carolina.
What you know? Oh, there's gonna be some bad ones there.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
usually
see,
just go to
But
the local food line because it's within walking distance.
oh
yeah,
yeah, I love the local. Is it smaller or is it pretty big?
Well, it's they've got bigger ones, but the one in my town's a little smaller, and it's
Yeah,
good for me because I've got a little bit of anxiety about crowds, and even when it's busy there might just be 5 people in the store. So
that's what I mean. Is like even like there's some grocery stores here that they're like hole in the wall cheese shops, and you get other stuff there. But yeah, if there's like 5 people in there, it's like it's full. They're like, yeah, well, you gotta wait a minute. You go into Walmart. Next thing you know, you're holding 2 bags of Doritos, and you've got like cow corrals going
yeah,
all the way like it's the DMV. Everything's flashing like you are being recorded, and I was just like, holy Skynet, like get me out of here. Feel like I'm about to like sell off my organs or something.
yeah, for real.
say
You
with,
like go up to the self checkout and look up, and there's like a camera monitor with like just your picture staring back at you.
say with me, it's I'm not I'm not afraid of crowds. I don't like crowds, but I'm not afraid of crowds. Like I've been to like jam packed like like this sort of shit in
Yeah,
cons and stuff like that. But I'm not a big fan of grocery shopping. Like if I have to do it, I have to do it. My fear is that I buy the wrong brand or the wrong thing or something like that. So I'm not a great fan of it, but I can still do it and I'm fine with that. I just detest going to Costco's because Costco's over here generally attract. Well, now, what's the best way I can say this without getting in trouble?
Bogans.
No, not bogans. Certain,
Opposite Bogans.
we'll say certain ethnic groups that go to Costco's quite a lot, and they generally will like be like a family of 20 of them. They'll stand in the like Costco aisles over here, and I'm assuming it's the same over there, are ginormously wide. They will still stand like in a big massive circle and have like a family meeting about which cereal they want and take up the whole aisle. And I end up just having one of those big ass Costco trolleys, and I would just slam through the whole fucking middle of them because it pisses me off that they're taking up. It's like, stay to one side. If you want to have a conversation in the middle of an aisle, stay to one side and let other people go past. It's stuff like that. And I will like, the missus will say, I'm going to Costco. Do you want to come with me? No. I'll go into the shopping center across the road that probably has more people in it, but more shops. I'd rather go in there than go into a Costco and lose my cool within the first 5 minutes.
I've never
So,
been in
So you
Costco, but
feel about Costco?
they have a similar store called Sam's Club over here, where you can get stuff in bulk.
If you shop at Costco here, you're posh, like, and that's why we go there now, is because we did go to Walmart, and oh my god, I can't even handle thinking about Walmart. If something's gonna put me in jail, it's Walmart. That my wife took me to Costco. I was like, Costco's gonna be worse. I hate this crap. And it's nice, calm, quiet. Not very many people are there. You gotta understand, like, there's not a lot of people here to begin with. There's like 150,000.
Well, I'll put it this way: like, if if there were more Costco's around, because obviously we don't have that many. If there was more around like our normal supermarkets, it probably wouldn't be as bad. But because there's so few of them and they're so spread apart, you know, it's not like, okay, I'm in my suburb and there's a Costco 10 minutes up the road. So the people just from my area will be going to that Costco. It's more like the nearest Costco to me is like 20 minutes away, but the next nearest Costco is like an hour away over the other side of town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got it like the whole eastern suburbs of Melbourne is all going to this one Costco. The whole of western suburbs of Melbourne is going to the other Costco, so on and so forth. So if they were every second suburb, it wouldn't be as bad, I don't think. And a lot of people are getting into the habit now of working out how to buy in bulk and like, oh, I'm saving so much money going to Costco because I can buy 842 rolls of toilet paper for like $20 instead of going and buying 12 from the local supermarket every week, you know, for the same price sort of thing. So it's sort of good if you know how to work the system, but it's yeah, I just can't stand going there.
The big thing about stores and especially Costco is, you know, if I go to the Safeway, it's like, okay, so the cheese is $5. No, it can't be that easy. It's $5.42 plus tax, plus GST, plus PST, plus who
Whatever
knows?
Tax.
A charitable donation. And then you're like, okay, all right. And then you go somewhere else, and they're like, we have a block of cheese this big. It's $20. Isn't that a better deal? And you're like, yes. Do I need that much cheese? And they're like, well, you can freeze cheese. And I'm like, okay, so if it's on sale for half price and I've got this much freezer space, and suddenly we went from, okay, well, $5 is way too much to spend on cheese. Now I'm coming home with like 20 things this big, filling up a freezer because it was really good deal, and we can freeze cheese. And so now for the rest of our life, we've got cheese covered like $2.36. And people are like, no, this is not how grocery shop works. And I'm just like, oh my God. So was it the other cheese? And then like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, in the cheese, there's like 20, 30, 60, 40 different types of cheese. And I can't even figure out how to bring cheddar home. And I'm not talking about the money kind. I'm talking about the yellow kind. And
yeah, well, and that's the thing, like, because I know the missus when she goes to Costco, she'll only buy like every time she goes, it's only like 5 to 10 certain things that work out better buying it at Costco in bulk. She doesn't do the whole shop there. She only buys the things that she knows makes sense to buy, like toilet paper or, you know, paper towel or, you know, certain things like that you know will last a long time. You don't have to keep buying it constantly. It gets used every day, all that sort of stuff. Whereas all the rest of the stuff we just go to a normal supermarket for. And you just buy like as you need or every week or every, 2 weeks or whichever sort of thing. So if we had to do our shop at Costco like every single week or every 2 weeks or whatever like that, I would go freaking insane.
yeah, and that was the other thing is like, okay, we needed horseradish. And I'm like, so we need horseradish for one dish, and I'm probably not going to like it. And then I'm holding on a horseradish big, and I'm like, so it blows my mind that we need multiple grocery stores. Still trying to figure that out.
Even like we only have really, like, besides Costco, we only have like 2 major chains of things. Like there are a couple of others. Like there's this one over here now. It's called Aldi, And Aldi's like some, I don't know, Swedish or German or something or other, and they sort of pride themselves on doing like their own name brand sort of stuff. So it's supposed to be cheaper, but I don't trust it as far as I could bloody throw it. So I don't even shop in there at all. But there's a few like independent ones and a few chains of independent ones and stuff like that. But I'll just stick to the two main ones, and then I just go, okay, well, this one's got this on special, so we'll buy these at this one, and then we'll just go to the other one because they're like all over the place. You know, like I could probably drive 10 minutes and hit like 3 or 4 different supermarkets or grocery stores.
Joe's got the best dad jokes sometimes.
Oh boy! Well, I finished all my bagging and boarding. Yeah, I'm all up to date.
Oh, nice.
Until I go to the comic stores again. Well, I got to work out how to say Mark now because Mark's officially closed.
Moved to the new location.
Well, he's going to a storage container. So it's going to be like literally ring him up and go, you're going to be around? Yeah, I'm going to be around there between 3 and 5 this afternoon. Okay, I'll see you down there sort of thing. So I know Simon, he did that with Mark when Mark left his old store. And this was during COVID where like it was like, okay, there was no point in opening. So I just go to a storage unit. So he's done that, but I've never done the experience. But apparently what's got to happen is you'll have to ring him from the gate. You'll have to come and get you and then take you down to the storage unit, do whatever you need to do, talk shit, buy your comics or whatever like that. And then he'll have to bloody take you back out again to your car. So it's like, hopefully he'll be able to do like a few people will go at once.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not sort of just like, you know, he's
I guess
coming in and
they
out.
probably have like more rules and stuff being like a storage place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll all be under like security codes and gates and all that sort of crap. So no, it'll be interesting. But we'll see how we go with it.
Hopefully it works out good for him.
Yeah, well, it's more that like I think because there was something to do with like, you know, rant and stuff, and he just seemed to be getting the traffic as much. Because from where he went, it's more of like an industrial area. His old shop was more like on an actual like a street shop sort of location. Yeah. So obviously the rent was higher at the old place as well, but you know, this one was a decent location, but yeah, I don't think he was just getting the foot traffic as much as what he used to. So, and like he had to keep putting up his prices and things like that to try and cover his costs, which is fair enough. You know, you got to do it what you got to do.
Yeah, it's crazy sometimes how much rent will just go up.
Yeah,
from year to year.
Because that's the thing. Because like if you look at say like most new books now are either $3.99, $4.99, or $5.99 US. A $3.99 US book, we're paying $11 for Australian.
Yeah, I remember hearing Simple Simon say that in some of his haul videos.
Yeah, so it's like $3.99, so say $4. If you do the actual currency conversion, it's probably like $5 or $6. But because of all the shipping costs and, you know, and like, you know, putting a small markup on it to try and make some money off it and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, obviously cover all your bills and your rent and your power and your water and all that sort of stuff. That's what it ends up being. Yeah. So I think with this container, you might actually be able to maybe drop it back to slightly more reasonable sort of price. I think it'll still be expensive.
Yeah, you'll probably be able to make more of a profit too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all a bit in the same sort of boat, Gray, but yeah, you still get dragged in, unfortunately. Excuse me. Like, obviously, I want to keep up my ASM run, as I said, you know, try and keep it all complete. Don't want to sort of let that drop off or anything. But then you're like, oh, what about that one? And, oh, they're doing a new spectacular Spider-Man run. And I have a lot of the old volumes, so I'll keep that up as well. And you just get dragged back into it.
Oh, yeah.
Time to start stealing them again. We all know Gray's a dodgy bastard. Oh, Joe had a question earlier. Where was it? It says, Russ, what's the biggest con you have been to?
Just the Heroes Con last year. Well,
You haven't done
one
any
of the
other
cool things about it is even though there was a lot of people there, it was such a big area. You still had plenty of room to walk around and not feel crowded. So that was nice.
I suppose
But,
the only time you'd probably get crowds is if you like went to like a big name artist or creator or whatever.
yeah,
Like if
yeah,
you
and
went to, like,
I didn't bother going and getting in lines and trying to get anything signed. I just mostly hung out with some of the guys from YouTube like Bubs and Hialeah and Steve Whiting. Hung out with those guys most of the time.
yeah.
No
Yeah, we know you
Bubs.
just
I know
buy
Hialeah.
old ones.
One of the things where I did feel crowded last year, I went to a WWE Raw event with my niece and nephew, and that got the anxiety ticking a little bit because that was real crowded.
Yeah, well, you're in
kind of had
stadium
to,
seating, so you're like,
yeah.
sitting in the stadium seat just next to each other with
There were
everybody.
several times where I just had to like focus as best as I could and not have a panic attack or hyperventilate from feeling crowded.
So what you need to
But
do is you
yeah,
need to sit in the middle, have your niece and nephew on either
yeah,
side of you. So then you're like, oh, I know these people.
that helped a lot. Having
Mm.
my niece and nephew there, having family with me, and
Yeah,
to
you
not
can
have
just
like a
focus
full
on
on anxiety attack or anything.
it.
I'm 6 foot 300 pounds, and the thing about the crowds for me, I get a little panicked, and then
Yeah,
if I turn into a stampeding bull, is that could be dangerous. That could actually do harm to people.
yeah.
That sometimes if I feel like I'm getting pushed around, like I'll just stop and like kind of lock eyes with someone, kind of like being a little too
Yeah.
pushy, that I make it
Yeah,
clear that
that's
like we're
one
gonna
like
have a
one
problem
major
here.
reason that I've never tried to go to like a concert and see a musical performance because I like heavier music, some metal, some rock, and there's no way I could go to one of those concerts and people's pushing you around and stuff. I couldn't deal with it.
You'd have to go in the
Well,
seats, not in the mosh pit. You'd have to,
Yeah, I
get one of the
couldn't.
seats
Like
in the
I would.
stadium.
I know about 7 or 8 years
I
ago,
was
maybe a little more. My nieces talked me into going Black Friday shopping with them,
Oh God.
and this was like 7, 8 years ago, back when the places was full. And I remember we were in the middle of Target, and I just started hyperventilating and passed out for a little bit. And I woke up. I just had to get out, man. I couldn't. And ever since, I've always done shopping online after that.
Yeah, but you're a metalhead from way back, Gray. You'd love that shit.
Yeah, Gray man, he would be into that.
He'd be crowd surfing. He'd be doing all
I
that sort of
was
shit.
I was at my buddy's metal band, and he was playing with a fairly big band from Canada, and they do that thing where they're like, everyone come to the front, and I was like, I don't want to. So big guy like me goes all the way to the front. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm here. And then he says, all right, everyone do the pit. And I'm like, no, I am not doing the pit. I moved to the front. That I'll meet you 50-50. And someone thought that they could push me into the pit to get me to start going. And so he just shoves me as hard as he can, and I barely kind of move. I just kind of stumbled backward. And I didn't realize I thought I had just been assaulted by a person. And I just stopped and looked at him. It wasn't very big, and he just kind of like sheepishly like looked at was like, oh, yeah, story. It just, I felt bad for the guy that I was just like, I just didn't understand the social context. He shoved me in a friendly manner. He was trying to get things going, and he was
there. He
thought
is.
he was being friendly. We sent him 3 times, and he shows up. What do you know?
Yeah, about an hour ago.
We were doing an insomnia, but without you, apparently. We're in the middle of an insomnia.
Yeah.
Like,
even if I didn't have the anxiety, I couldn't do a mosh pit now anyway, because I'm going to be 44 in July, and like sometimes I can sneeze and hurt my back. So
I feel you. You know.
I like sneeze and my back hurts. So there's no way I could get in a mosh pit even if I didn't have anxiety.
What the fuck did you say about me? No, he just said we're surprised you hadn't turned up, CJ, because you were talking earlier in the Insomniac chat about doing one, but you didn't want to run it. And I'm like, well, I need to do bagging and boarding, so I said, well, I'm going to do one.
Common journey.
So,
and then because
as I said when I
talked all that shit, he didn't talk any shit. Don't talk shit.
He's going to be 44.
Yeah, and just a couple months, and right near the end of July.
When you're 44, you really hold on to those last couple weeks of being 43.
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work? He doesn't want to be 44. He's really hold on to those last couple weeks, you know.
Whether as I turned 45
like,
just under a month ago.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Man, I thought you were like in your 30s.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was like 39 maximum. Atta boy.
That's what he says anyway.
I was going to make a terrible joke, and I'm glad that I didn't. Don't ask me what it was. It's not good. I'm glad I caught myself
when I was
before
43.
walking.
Wait, no, I didn't. You can't be that old, Joe.
I don't think he is.
You're older than me. You're older than me than in every way, CJ. You look older than me. You are legally older than me, and you're physically older than me. Jump on for your cow story. No, I'm gonna end it soon anyway, because I've got to ring my missus and have a chat to her, and then I've still got one more day of work before the nice long Easter weekend of 4 days off. So.
Oh, nice. 4-day vacation.
Oh, it's Easter.
Yeah. You do not look younger than me, CJ. You look like some old bloody Greek dude that's come straight off the boat with his bloody pedophilas in his hand and, trying to whack some young tacker or something. I don't know what I'm saying. Fuck it, I'm going to end it because I'm starting to talk gibberish now.
I gotta go make some breakfast anyways. I think it's getting close to 6.
Breakfast for you guys. So, all righty.
Yeah,
thank you everybody, or the few people that were in the chat. Thank you to Russ. Thank you to Sicko, and also thank you to Papa for jumping on with me. What do we end it with? I don't have end things and stuff like that, so we'll just end it with We'll end it with Rob. Here we go. Thanks everybody.
They don't get quite as big as the ones on the coast. Bearded dragon, you can see why they're called a bearded dragon. They've got this little beard here, and when he gets all cantankerous, all cranky, or you've got a big mouth too, he opens up his mouth and shows this beard, and that's a sign of toughness. I am so tough. Stay away from me or I'm going to bite you.